of no-hit baseball against the Mets, only to lose in the 11th. Has pitched a couple of one-hitters. He has never had a no-hit ball game. Strike one. That's a ball. Even count, 1-1. Maloney contributed to the 5-hit total by the Reds so far today when he singled to right field in the third inning. His last time up, he struck out. That's too low. Ball two, strike one. 2 out, nobody on. Top half of the 8th inning, no score in the ball game. There is a fly ball out to right field, dropping quickly, and it is in there for a base hit. Williams firing it into second base, and Maloney here is on with his second base hit of the day. You're looking at Harper, who will face Jackson now with 2 out and Maloney at first base. Harper has been at the plate 3 times today. He's grounded out. He's been safe in a fielder's choice, and he struck out on the 6th. Swing and a miss. Maloney has struck out 10 Cub batters so far today. Larry Jackson has struck out 4. That's foul. Strike 2. Bill White has just homered for the Cardinals in the 6th inning with nobody on base. And as they continue to bat in the 6th, they have the lead over Milwaukee by a score of 4-2. And Mincher has just homered for the Twins in the 3rd with 2 men on. The Twins continuing to bat. In the 3rd inning, it's Minnesota 5 and Detroit nothing. Check swing, the pitch is outside. Ball 1, strike 2. Rollins also homered in the 3rd with nobody on, making it 6-0. Here it's 0-0. 2 out in the top of the 8th, 1 on. 1 and 2 on the batter, Harper. Check swing, it is strike 3 call. Strikeout number 5 for Larry Jackson. And in the 8th for the Reds, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left, and the score at the end of 7.5 is still Cincinnati nothing, the Cubs nothing. Let's join a couple of guys you know in Ham's Brewery's new hospitality room. Lloyd Pettit wondering how things must have been 100 years ago here at Ham's Minnesota Brewery. In the tap room, I imagine the bartender must have looked something like this. Jack Brickhouse is dressed as the bartenders were back in 1865.
One Ham's coming up.
My uniform, circa 1965.
The land of sky blue waters.
How things have changed in 100 years. This was the tap room at the brewery along about 1903, and that's even before Brickhouse. But today, we're in the new hospitality room at Ham's Brewery, just opened in commemoration of Ham's 100th year. Incidentally, next time you're in the Twin Cities, stop by this modern brewery for the conducted tour. The mural you see here behind us depicts those 100 years of brewing excellence. Ham's has led in packaging changes, too, from the old stopper bottle like this to this modern glass bottle, and now to Ham's exclusive new seamless all-aluminum can. How about it, Jack?
Oh, wouldn't a cold Ham's taste good right now?
The applause is for Larry Jackson, who is coming out in that warm-up jacket. Larry, so far, has a 6-hit shutout against this heavy-hitting Cincinnati Red Ball Club. And, of course, has pitched himself a beauty
But the opposition on the mound, Jim Maloney, has been nothing short of sensational so far today. Giving up no hits, striking out 10 Cubs. Jackson here has been a victim of the strikeout pitch from Maloney twice today. You can't help but wonder the thoughts that are going through a pitcher's mind, like Larry Jackson as he steps to that plate in a situation such as this, the bottom half of the 8th inning. Ball one outside. That's too low for a ball. That is too low. 3-0 to Jackson. Strike one call. The automatic was in there from Maloney. Cubs with no runs on no hits. The Reds with no runs on 6 hits. And there is a strike, and it's a full count now. The last no-hitter here at Wrigley Field, Don Cardwell of the Cubs versus St. Louis on May 15th of 1960. The last no-hitter in the majors, Jim Bunning, who pitched a perfect game for the Phillies versus the Mets on June 21st, 1964. Count still at ball 3, strike 2. That's fouled back. So often people will ask in a situation such as this of Maloney if he knew he had a no-hitter. Well, don't kid yourself. At this stage of the game, he certainly does know it. A couple of innings ago, he probably wouldn't have been paying too much attention to it, but now, this late in the game, bottom half of the 8th inning, he knows it and is working on it. That is ball 4. And that is the 6th walk given up by Maloney. In the first 4 innings, he had walked 5. And Don Landrum steps in. Don has struck out a couple of times, was safe in a fielder's choice. He offered. It's a strike. Sacrifice situation. And there it is. Maloney off the mound. Will have to go to first base. He does, with the second baseman covering. The sacrifice was successful. There you see Jackson at second base. Bill McCool in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. Jackson representing the lead run in scoring position now, and Doug Clemens the hitter. Lou has just homered for Milwaukee in the 7th with nobody on. St. Louis continuing to lead in that ball game now by a score of 4-3. That pitch misses the outside corner. the end of 2.5 in Detroit. It's Minnesota 6 and Detroit nothing. Bottom of your picture, Larry Jackson leading off second base. 1 out. That misses. Ball 2. WGN Television, Channel 9 in Chicago. Lloyd Pettit speaking, along with Jack Brickhouse, the rest of our Channel 9 crew. We've got a real tense one. It's a no-score ball game so far. That is high. Ball 3. And Maloney, who has allowed no hits in the ball game so far, is threatening to give up his 7th walk of the ball game. That is a strike at the letters. Ball 3, strike 1. Maloney has thrown very many pitches today. In walking 6 men, of course, it's obvious he's thrown quite a few, but he also has had a number of full count batters. That's fouled away, out of play. Ball 3, strike 2. You'll remember back in '55 when Sam Toothpick Jones was a Cub, pitched a no-hitter against Pittsburgh on the 12th of May. There is a fly ball deep to center field, the first fly ball out there, and it's taken by Pinson. Jackson breaking from second to third, and he slides in there safely. Jackson at third, and this is Sisler coming out. In remembering that Sam Jones no-hitter, going into the 9th inning, everything looked great for Sam. But then in the 9th, he walked the bases loaded, and one more pitch looked as if he might be out of the ball game. You remember what he did? He then proceeded to strike out the side. Well, the conference is complete now. And here is Billy Williams, who could really be a force of destruction here. With 2 out now in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and Jackson at third. Billy with a base hit could break up this fella's no-hitter and could give the lead, but he'll have no chance. They're going to walk him intentionally. Going with the percentage of the right-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher against the left-handed batter. And let's face it, it's unusual enough to go with a percentage when you have to face Ernie Banks coming up next. But here's Billy Williams receiving the intentional walk and trotting down to first base. Over here at third, Larry Jackson having a chat there with third base coach Al Dark. And this is Ernie Banks. Ernie is grounded out twice, and he has popped out to the second baseman. Pete Rose, the second baseman, and Maloney with a conference on the mound. Now Chico Cardenas coming in from shortstop. In most cases, when these conferences take place, It's up to the pitcher, and he is going to determine as best he can for his infielders approximately the manner in which he is going to pitch Ernie Banks. Even though that is decided before a ball game actually gets underway, it serves as a refresher for the infielders. Swing and a miss. And boy, I'm telling you, that Maloney is really firing that fast one in there. He's just rearing back. He kicked that left leg up there and comes down with a tremendous amount of leverage and really fires that fast one in there. And of course, the breeze blowing in helps him out too. That's too high. Ball one, strike one. Of course, Maloney here has to be careful of a wild pitch or a pass ball also. That is strike two. Maloney has struck out 10. He has walked 7. One of those walks intentional. The count on Banks with 2 out, 2 on the bottom half of the 8th inning. Ball one, strike two. And time is called again. I have a feeling that a bit of pressure is getting to just about everybody here. These occasions, of course, are rare. You can see just about everybody in the crowd here have their eyes just glued on the pitcher and on the hitter. And that is too high. Ernie Banks just took a really fine pitch, and it took those great sharp eyes of his to determine that it was out of the strike zone, because that ball floated in there just about letter high, just outside of that strike zone. Ball two, strike two. That's outside. Full count. Just like it was written in the script. Ernie Banks at bat. Bottom half of the 8th inning. Maloney, the pitcher. A no-hitter going. 2 out, 2 on, full count. Foul ball. They'll prolong it. Off the end of the bat, foul ball. Ball three, strike two. That's foul back. Count remaining, ball three, strike two. Ernie Banks hanging tough in the batter's box. Maloney doing his best to get him out of there. Swing and a miss, and he got Banks. Side is retired in the 8th inning. Strikeout number 11 for Maloney, who has got to heave a sigh of relief as he heads for his dugout. In the inning, the 8th for the Cubs. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left, and the score at the end of 8 full innings here. Cincinnati nothing, the Cubs nothing.
Now hear this. Now's the time to get in on Phillips 66 boat giveaway. It's your big chance to win this beautiful runabout, this 55 horsepower outboard motor.
and even this trailer. This $3,570 value, completely serviced by Par Marine and ready to go, can be yours absolutely free if you hurry and register in Phillips 66 Boat Giveaway now. Drive into any participating Phillips 66 station or marina where you see this sign in Chicagoland. Sign your name and address and place in this box. Nothing to buy, nothing to do except sign your name. And hear this. Sign up each time you visit your participating Phillips 66 dealer or marina. Then at the beginning of June, July, August, September, and October, a free runabout will be given to a lucky winner in Chicagoland. But hurry, register at any participating Phillips 66 dealers in Chicagoland where you see this sign. Register now in Phillips 66 Boat Giveaway.
Here we go now. We're going into the ninth inning, and the leadoff hitter is going to be Rose. Pete will be followed by Pinson, then Frank Robinson. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters now for Cincinnati moving into the ninth. Looking ahead to the Cub half of the ninth inning, Santo, Bailey, and Beckert will be due up. A 0-0 ball game. Cincinnati 6 hits. The Cubs, I'm sure it's no secret to anybody by this time, have no hits. And I can see people right now saying, well, you shouldn't mention the no-hitter, and we got away from that tradition a long, long, long time ago. We've worked a couple of no-hitters since. Here we go now, ninth inning, and Pete Rose with 1 for 3 is up. That's a strike. You tried to bunt it. Strike one. Foul ball. 0-2. You know, once before in a Cubs-Cincinnati game this year, we were getting ready to watch a no-hitter because Joey J had one till about the latter part of the 7th inning or something. Maybe it was the 8th inning of the ball game. Joey will pitch game 2. 0-2. There's a bat handle foul in the seat to the left. It is still strike 2 to Pete Rose. Oh, and 2. That's a ball. Ball 1, strike 2. Larry Jackson pitching superb baseball. And Jim Maloney pitching perfect baseball, hit-wise, up till now. Ball 1, strike 2. Ground ball. Banks makes a beautiful try for the ball. It's in and out of his glove. It's a base hit, I think. Crowd roars a little on that error call. They are charging Banks with an error on that one. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Pinson. The official scorer, Jimmy Enright, has probably ruled that since Banks did get to the ball and did have it, he should have been able to make the play. Anyway, Pinson is up. There's a bunt. And Ron Santo finally picks it up. Safe all around. Jackson started in. Santo thought Jackson was going to field the ball. Jackson thought Santo was going to field the ball. As a result, Santo finally picked it up late and threw too late. And Pinson is on base with a hit, a bunt single. That puts men on first and second, brings up Frank Robinson, nobody out. Now, Robinson tripled off the left field wall the last time up. Well, if you were Dick Sisler right now, would you have this slugger bunt in this spot, or would you have him swing away? Keeping in mind the possibility of not only a double, but a triple play if he hits it hard enough, and there are enough men straying from the bases. We've seen it happen out here this year a couple of times, as you know, and also at Sox Park. Well, what would you do? You're going to have him swing away? Rose on second, Pinson on first, ninth inning, no score, nobody out. Watch it now. Jackson looks around, sets, Full swing, and there's a high foul ball. That's strike one. Strike one. Robinson is followed by Coleman and Johnson in the batting order, both long ball hitters. Out in the bullpen, the right-hander Abernathy, the lefty Billy Heft. Strike one. The heat is on at Wrigley Field. Jackson peering down at his catcher Bailey. All set with the sign. Here we go. That's a pretty well hit ball deep to left field. However, the wind is going to hold it in. That's Clemens under it. That is out number one, and the throw to the infield holds the runners at their bases. That'll bring up the first baseman, Coleman. Time has been called. Gordy Coleman, the first baseman, due up. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. Give or take a few pitches, Jim Maloney has thrown 150 pitches in this ball game. And that's a lot of pitches. But he's had a lot of 3-2 counts, and he's walked several men. Now here is Coleman. That is a little outside. Ball one. Cub infield. Santo, Kessinger, Beckert, Banks looking for that double play ball. The outfield. Clemens in left. Landrum in center. Williams in right. The battery. Jackson and Bailey. It's the ninth. You can cut the tension with a knife at Wrigley Field in game one of this doubleheader. A scoreless ball game. And of course the Cubs hoping to avert not only a loss and a shutout but also a no-hitter. There's a well-hit ball deep to right. That's way back there. That's way back there. It is caught by Billy Williams with his shoulders against the vines, and the runner on second is able to take third. Oh, brother, that's twice today. That's twice today that the Cub outfielder, the other case it was Clemens, went so far back, and the ball looked to be so far gone that the outfielder was actually expecting a home run. And the wind blowing in at 14 miles an hour, maybe a little better than that right now, held it inside the park, and believe me, there was a frightening out if you ever saw one. Now, with men on first and third, Rose able to take third. Darren Johnson, the third baseman, is up. And the Cub board a strategy. Beckert, Kessinger, Jackson, and Bailey have broken up a little conference. There is Larry Jackson, who once before in his career threw a one-hitter at Cincinnati. Runners on first and third. There's a ground ball bouncing high to Santo. Here's that long throw to first, and it retires the side. Woo, boy, they got out of that jam. No run, one hit, one error, 2 men left. Here we go to the last half of the ninth inning. Santo will lead off. No score at Wrigley Field.
The Hams Bear has some new friends, and what a bunch of clowns they are.
Hams presents the Aqua Clowns.
Pour yourself some freshness, have yourself a Hams. Join in the fun of active living, get with the swing to Hams.
That's the freshness you feel in Hams.
It's bursting out with freshness. Have yourself a Hams beer. Feel the splash of sky blue water's freshness, the word for Hams.
Treat your thirst to freshness. Have yourself a Hams.
Ladies and gentlemen, this ball game now moves into the Cub half of the ninth inning. Any old kind of a run wins it for the Chicago Cubs. Cincinnati nothing, the Chicago Cubs nothing. There's Ron Santo, who has the big responsibility now of leading off in the inning for the Chicago Cubs against Jim Maloney, a young man who in striking out 11 and walking 7 still is protecting a no-hitter. Cincinnati on the field. Harper in left, Pinson in center, Robinson in right, Darren Johnson at third, Cardenas at shortstop, Rose at second, Coleman at first. A battery of Maloney and John Edwards. Ron Santo, who started the day, a .278 hitter, is hitless in 3 at-bats. The last time at bat he was called out on strikes and is still smoldering a little from it. The call by umpire Mel Steiner. Here we go. Fastball low, ball 1. The outfield is to the left. They're playing fairly deep, wind or no wind. Ball 1. That high inside pitch nicked him, and Santo's been given the base. The umpire Edwards wanted to protest, but Santo is on base, hit by a pitched ball. He ducked that high inside pitch. It grazed his shoulder. He's on base. Ed Bailey, the catcher, is up. He's followed in the batting order by Beckert. Here's Bailey. Ed Bailey batting against his old teammates, and there's a fastball low, ball 1. He's a pretty dangerous fellow to be at bat in this spot. Left-handed long ball hitter, knows his pitchers. He's got a pretty good book on Maloney. Used to be with this ball club. Down on base, nobody out, last of the 9th. Watch it. Third baseman in close. Big swing, 1-1. Curveball that time. Maloney threw the curve high and got away with it. 1-1. Ball 1, strike 1. The last no-hitter in this ballpark was Cardwell of the Cubs against St. Louis on May 15, 1960. If you were watching, you saw it on Channel 9. It was Cardwell's first appearance in a Wrigley Field uniform. 1-1. He had just been traded from the Phillies. Ball 1, strike 1. There goes the runner. Tried to bunt, it's foul. Ball 1, strike 2. Bailey trying to lay one down to move that man to scoring position. Ron Santo, there you see him now, trotting back to first base. Between ball games, we're going to have a visit with Waite Hoyt, one of the greats. And for many years now, the broadcaster with Cincinnati, who's calling it quits after this year as the Cincinnati Reds voice. Outside. Ball 2, strike 2. The outfield spread away. Center fielder Pinson playing medium deep for Ed Bailey. Ball 2, strike 2. The base runner at first is Santo. Coleman trying to hold Santo as close to the bag as possible. That curve is outside. Now it's ball 3, strike 2, one of several full counts on the Cub batters this afternoon. Maloney has thrown lots of pitches. Anytime a pitcher throws over 120 or 25 or 130 pitches, he is asking for a lot of wear and tear on that arm. Ball 3, strike 2. Here we go. Ball 4. That puts men on first and second. Nobody out in the 9th. Walk number 8 issued by Maloney. He has struck out 11. There on second, you see Santo. He represents the winning run in this ball game. He's now in scoring position. So, a base hit could not only ruin the no-hitter, it could win the ball game. Well, there must be a fellow on the Cub bench right now by the name of Dick Ellsworth who knows what's going on in Maloney's mind. Remember earlier this year when Dick had a no-hitter going? And Al Ferrara of the Dodgers not only ruined the no-hitter, but he also hit a home run and won the ball game. Strike 1. Runners on first and second. Nobody out now. Last of the 9th. First baseman in very close. Here's the bunt. It is fouled on the third base line. 0-2. Beckert having trouble trying to bunt. He's managed to coax 2 of these walks out of Maloney, out of the 8 which Jim has given up this afternoon. Alvin Dark coming in now to have a little talk with Glenn Beckert. A no-ball, strike 2 count. Alvin Dark, a real fine baseball mind, coaching at third for the Cubs. Fellow with a lot of leadership. 0-2. Outside, ball 1, strike 2. Well, we talked about the Tony and Vaughn double no-hitter between Cincinnati and the Cubs back in 1917. There have been a couple similar to that since that time. Who can forget Harvey Haddock's performance in '59, huh? That's strike 3 called a curveball. Beckert is out of there. We're in the last half of the 9th inning. And now here we go with Jimmy Stewart picking up a bat to see if he can spoil the no-hitter and win this ball game, batting for Kessinger. Here is Jimmy Stewart. He's hitting .222, has 45 hits this year, 8 doubles, 4 triples, no home runs, 15 runs batted in. In May of 1959, Harvey Haddock of Pittsburgh pitched 12 no-hit innings, then lost on Adcock's 13th inning hit for Milwaukee, 1-0. Back in 1934, Bobo Newsom, then with the Browns, pitched against Boston. He pitched 9 no-hit innings, but he allowed a hit in the 10th and lost the ball game 2-1. All right, runners on first and second. 1 out. Jimmy Stewart, the batter. Pinch hitting for Kessinger. Santo perched on second, leading off a little bit. You can see him in the bottom of the picture. That is a little low. That was a slider that time. Ball 1. Maloney throws a fastball, a curve, and of course with Jim Turner coaching this team, he figures to throw a slider too. There you see his catcher, John Edwards, with a word of encouragement as he gives him that baseball. And also perhaps a little bit of a word about the possible sign switch, what with Santo perched on second and looking down at the catcher's sign. Ball 1. Daly is on first base, 1 away. There is a fly ball out in the very short left center. Veda Pinson playing shallow has it. And that is out, number 2. And that will bring up the pitcher, Larry Jackson. And Jackson will bat. Now here comes Jackson. What a spot for Larry to come through, huh? Jim Maloney, who 3 times in his career has thrown a one-hitter. He's never had that no-hitter. He had 10 no-hit innings against the Mets earlier this year, but he lost it 1-0 on Johnny Lewis's homer in the 11th inning. The last no-hitter in the major leagues was thrown by Jim Bunning, who threw that perfect game for the Phillies against the Mets on June 21st, 1964. Strike 1. 2 out. That's a little low. 1-1. No matter how it comes out, everybody who's out here right now wouldn't have missed this ball game for anything. 1-1. That's a curveball strike. Ball 1, strike 2. Twice, Maloney has struck out Jackson. The last time Larry was up, he was given a walk. Ball 1, strike 2. One and 2. Fastball low and away. That nearly got away from John Edwards. 2-2. Two and 2. 2-2. Bounces in. Ball 3, strike 2, another 3-2 count. Three and 2 now to Jackson. Ball 3, strike 2. Ball 4. That loads him up. There goes Jackson to first base. On second is Bailey. And over here on third, representing the most important run in a long while in this ballpark, is Ron Santo. Center fielder, leadoff man, Don Landrum at bat. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. He has struck out twice. He bunted, sacrificing the last time up in the 8th. Here's Maloney. Bases are full. 2 out, last of the 9th. No score. Cincinnati and the Cubs. And Maloney is working on a no-hitter. Here we go. That is a strike. Right in there, says Steiner. Strike 1. Third baseman Johnson's playing in a little close. Strike 1, WGN Television, baseball, all yours in black and white and color on Channel 9. Here we go. Very high foul ball, out of play. 0-2. Oh, and 2. Oh, and 2. A no ball, strike 2 count. Watch it. There's a high pop-up. Cardenas is under it, shading his eyes. He has it. That retires the side, and we'll have an extra inning ball game today. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, 3 men left at the end of 9. Cincinnati, no runs, 7 hits. The Cubs, no runs, no hits.
Are you completely satisfied with your auto insurance? Or do you think you're paying too much for the coverage you have? If you're a bit doubtful about these questions, then listen to this. At Allstate, the auto insurance rates for adult good drivers in the Chicagoland area are lower than those of most other companies. That means most adult good drivers who switch to Allstate can save $10 to $40 a year on a full coverage policy. That's a policy that protects you and your car against almost any kind of driving mishap, even if it's your fault. Now, maybe you own 2 cars. Then you may save even more money with Allstate's 2-car discount. How does your present auto insurance stack up against Allstate's? Wouldn't it be a good idea to ask an Allstate agent about auto insurance? Phone him at an Allstate office or at any Sears store. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this ball game now moves into the 10th inning. The leadoff hitter for Cincinnati is going to be their catcher, John Edwards. He'll be followed by Cardenas, then Maloney. You have the bottom of the batting order, and boy, what a tribute that Maloney ought to get when he comes to bat. He has pitched 9 no-hit, no-run innings against the Cubs. Earlier this year, we've mentioned this a couple of times today. We'll mention it again. Earlier, Maloney pitched 10 no-hit innings against the Mets on the night of June 14th and lost the ball game 1-0 on Johnny Lewis's home run in the 11th.
And has had 13 3-2 counts.
At our request, Don Biebel, the Cubs publicity head, who keeps score and keeps track of these things, has announced on the intercom up here, and we'll repeat it for you, that Maloney has thrown 173 pitches and has had 13 3-2 counts. There's a ground ball, batted down by Banks, picks it up, waves the pitcher away. Ernie makes the unassisted put out. And that is out number 1 on Edwards in the 10th. That'll bring up the shortstop, Cardenas. Jimmy Stewart is now playing shortstop for the Cubs. Looking ahead to the Cub half of the 10th, Clemens, Williams, and Banks. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters will be due up. Now the shortstop, Cardenas, is at bat. Leo Cardenas. Outfield to the left, fairly deep. Larry Jackson all set. That's pretty well hit, very deep to left, way back there, back. It is a home run. A home run that hit the screen in fair territory and bounced back onto the field and hit the screen above the yellow mark out there. And that is a home run for Cardenas, his 9th of the year, and Cincinnati takes a 1-0 lead. And look at the reception he'll get over there in that Cincinnati dugout. Well, that brings up Maloney. And you can be sure Maloney shook hands with him when he trotted by. Here's Jim Maloney. One away. Nobody on in the 10th. And there is ball one. Maloney has 2 hits today and 3 at-bats. He has solved Jackson for singles in the 3rd and the 8th innings. One and one. Well, that's the second harmful home run to the Cubs that has hit out there the other day. Mac Jones hit one out there that here's Stewart, drops it, picks it up, throws, gets his man, recovered in time. That was close. The other day, you may remember Max Jones of Milwaukee hitting to the opposite field, hit a fly ball that grazed the foul pole out there, just took a coat of paint off of it, and consequently was considered a fair ball home run. That hurt the Cubs. Two out now, and that brings up the leadoff man, left fielder Harper. That's a strike, strike one. Jackson throws, that's low. Ball one. Well, out there in the Cub bullpen, the boys are standing up. They have been giving it the kibitz on that foul pole out there. There's a high pop foul. Banks jogs over, but this is way back in there. Tommy Harper, the batter. Remember earlier this year in the 14th inning at Cincinnati when Harper pretended to start to steal home and in the umpire judgment caused Ernie Broglio to balk in the run. That was also a very interesting evening because for a long time Joey J had a no-hitter going in that ball game. That was over there at Crosby Field in Cincinnati. That was on the 28th of April. 2-2. There's a line shot falling in short right center for a base hit. Another base hit then for Cincinnati. That is the 9th off Jackson in the ball game. Only one has really done any damage. That was the home run just a moment ago by Cardenas, the shortstop. And now with Pete Rose, the second baseman, up and a man on base and 2 out, the score is Cincinnati 1, the Chicago Cubs 0. We're in the 10th. Throw to first. It was close. Banks putting it on Harper. First base umpire Barlick. Strike. He turned away from an inside pitch, and the umpire says it caught the strike zone. Strike one. D-Reich one. Strike one. Again, that throw to first, trying to hold that runner close. Strike one. It's the 10th. There goes the runner, hit and run, and here is Banks flipping over to the pitcher covering at first. And Ernie and Jackson handled that one very calmly, even though it was a very, very nervous and tense situation. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. A home run by Cardenas. We go to the last half of the 10th. Clemens will lead off. Score: Cincinnati 1, the Cubs nothing.
Pour yourself some freshness. Have yourself a Hamm's. Join in the fun of active living. Get with the swing to Hamm's. It's bursting out with freshness. Have yourself a Hamm's beer. Feel a splash of sky blue water's freshness. The word for Hamm's.
That's the freshness you feel in Hamm's. Pour yourself some freshness. Have yourself a Hamm's.
All right, here we go now into the last half of the 10th inning. The Cubs, no runs and no hits, trailing 1-0. We have a new first baseman. Keogh is now playing first base. Marty Keogh. So the Reds have Harper, Pinson, and Robinson in left, center, and right. Johnson, Cardenas, Rose, and Keogh, the infield third to first. The battery, Maloney, of course, and Johnny Edwards. And the leadoff hitter is Doug Clemens. He'll be followed by Billy Williams and Ernie Banks. Jim Maloney trying for his first career no-hitter. And there's a ball 1. If he gets it, we have both Lloyd Pettit and Lou Boudreau down there to try to nail him. Ball 1. That's a strike, fastball. Ball 1, strike 1. Clemens so far today has struck out twice, walked once, and hit a fly ball to center the last time up. Started today a .257 hitter. 1-1. Ball 2, strike 1. Jim Maloney, who started out in life as a shortstop, the same Legion ball club that Dick Ellsworth played on out in California. Strike! Ball 2, strike 2, and that is the 177th pitch of this ball game, thrown by Jim Maloney. Two and 2. This is game 1 of a doubleheader. There's a fly ball out in the short left, falling pretty fast out there. It's foul, and it is out of reach. Johnson, Cardenas, and Harper were all going for it. And the way that started out, it looked like it might have a chance to be one of those balloon hits right near the line. 2 and 2. The wind blowing in helped that one go foul. That's Maloney, 25 years old, 6'2", 200-pounder. He started the day age 25. He might be about 65 right about now. 2 and 2. Here we go. Fastball low. Ball 3, strike 2. Ball 3, strike 2. Three and 2. There is a foul ball. Dribbling down the first base side, picked up by first baseman Keel, the first base coach for the Cubs, who hasn't had much traffic to direct today, is Rube Walker. And over here at third, Alvin Dark has almost died of loneliness. Ball 3, strike 2. Doug Clemens, the batter. It's the 10th inning. Low. Ball 4. Walk number 10 given up by Jim Maloney. He has struck out a dozen. He has hit one batsman. Now Billy Williams is up. Billy was intentionally walked the last time. He got to Ernie Banks, and it worked. Banks struck out and ended the inning and preserved the no-hitter. Now with the score 1-0 in the last half of the 10th inning. Maloney is still working on his 1-0 no-hitter. In the dirt, ball 1. Billy Williams, the batter. Ball 1. Remember Sam Jones no-hitter out here for the Cubs years ago? Hack was managing. The very first one we ever had. I think the year was 56. Don't hold me to that. In the 9th inning, he walked the bases full and then struck out the side. Foul ball. 1-1. Ball 1, strike 1. Jack Rosenberg had just straightened me out. It was 1955 against the Pirates. That I remember very well. 1-1. It was the first no-hitter this reporter had covered. Here we go. Curveball, little outside. Ball 2, strike 1. Maloney's curveball is a little more reliable than it was in the first few innings. However, it still, on occasion, has put him behind the batter. Ball 2, strike 1. Man on base. However, you can't get by with nothing but fastballs in the major leagues. 2-1. That is a ball. Ball 3, strike 1 now to Billy Williams. Now here, indeed, is a real key moment in this ball game. With Billy Williams at bat, the tying run on base, nobody out in the 10th, and a ball 3, strike 1 count. Maloney really has a problem. Watch it. There's a high fly to left. Tommy Harper is over. He's under the ball. And that is out number 1. That brings up Ernie Banks. Victimized by the strikeout pitch. Last time up. Ernie's 0 for 4. There have been only 3 putouts by Cincinnati outfielders in this game. Here's Ernie. Ground ball. Picked by Cardenas over to second out. Rose relays. The ball game is all over. Maloney's got a no-hitter. A no-hitter for Maloney. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. And there's the crowd gathering around him. Now we're going to try our best to locate this kid. For Channel 9, there are the teammates surrounding Jim Maloney, who has just thrown a 10-inning no-hitter. Lou Boudreau and Lloyd Pettit are going out there with microphones to try to grab him.
I got it.
There he is, right there.
I got it. Here we are, right here. Jimmy Maloney.
Thank you.
And Lou Boudreau, along with us here on both radio and television. Jimmy, that's got to be a real great thrill for you.
Well, I lost one early in the year, 1-0 against the Mets, and I thought maybe I might be in the same predicament today if all Williams had to do was Banks hit one out, and there I am 1-0 again getting beat. But I'm glad it turned out the way it did. It's got to be. I wasn't real sharp today. I had a lot of made some good pitches when I had to, but when I had to come in there, they popped it up or something, and I had a lot of walks, but I wasn't real sharp as I was against the Mets. But I think this is the biggest game of my career right here.
Well, as far as I was concerned, Jim, you were very sharp, because in sitting behind the screen for the last inning, your ball was moving, and you kept it in great spots. Even when you were 3-1, you kept the ball around knee high.
Well, I didn't want to. I knew when I lose a little edge on my fastball, it tends to move more. I don't know what this is. Edwards told me, he said, the last 3 innings, my fastball's sinking and tailing real good, and we'll stay with it most of the way. As far as the no-hitter was concerned, I knew I had the thing all the way. I was just real thrilled the way it would come out.
Jimmy, the one guy who really clouded the ball on your day was Doug Clemens in the 8th inning. He hit a line drive straight away to center field. Was that a mistake, and did it frighten you a little bit?
I was trying to keep the ball away from Doug all day, and I did come in a couple of times. That time I